Welcome back, Space Cadets. This is Space Exploration News. Yes, it's been way too long, but this is the place where we bring you the latest and greatest from the final frontier. So happy to have you here. So come on in, come aboard. We're going to be talking about the Odysseus mission. We're going to be talking about Crew 8, which is about to fly as we speak. They're about to launch, I think, in like 30 minutes or so. And then we're going to talk also about how the FAA seems to have finalized the investigation into the Starship, SpaceX Starship. So we're really excited to see how that unfolds, and hopefully have a mission soon. So, but before we go any further, the moment you've been waiting for a long time, the Space Exploration News theme song. Here was Space Exploration News. Some of you might think, what did Carlos do? Did Carlos abandon us? Actually, I was working on a little AI solution here for Space Exploration News. So guess what? What is the biggest planet in our solar system? All right. Do you know the answer to that? Well, our new handy dandy Space Exploration News AI actually knows very well. This is not using ChatGPT. It's actually using Claude, which I quite like. Their offerings are really good with Claude, and so check this out. Lots of information about Jupiter. So any questions you have about space, you can go ahead and try Claude. Of course, you want to do your own research, but we now have a little AI bot there. So that's part of what I've been up to lately. I'm also slowly training it on our shows as well. So soon you'll be able to ask it, what show did Carlos talk about, this or that mission or planet or whatever, and soon it will have that information as well with AI. So we're excited about that. And chat, thank you very much, Mr. Space Robot. Okay, so let's get started with the Odysseus NASA mission. So here's an article from the New York Times. It was actually written just before it launched. First U.S. moon landing in more than 50 years. So that's pretty significant. A robotic lunar lander launched by a Houston company got closer to reaching the moon. Although it's a private mission, the main customer is NASA, which paid $118 million for the delivery of 6 instruments to the moon. Odysseus is aiming for a spot in the South Polar region, a flat plain outside Malapert A crater. So, we talked about here with the Chandrayaan mission and other missions, in the Chinese mission as well. I forget the name of that one, but they were also trying to get to that South Moon Pole. It seems like everyone's trying to get there. The Odysseus mission tried to get 185 miles from the moon's south pole. Some of those craters in that region remain in perpetual shadow and are a particular area of interest because water ice has been detected in them. Previous American moon missions have landed in equatorial regions. The spacecraft will fire its engine so that the circular orbit changes to an elliptical one and will drop to within about 6 miles of the lunar surface. From this point onward in the landing sequence, Odysseus will operate completely on its own. After coasting for an hour, the engine will start up again, and the spacecraft will begin its powered descents. It will have to slow down from its initial speed of 4,000 miles an hour, basically to zero, right? So, because the solar panels provide the spacecraft's power, its mission will last only about 7 days. It has 6 instruments. Just a few of them are interesting. There's a laser retroflector array that bounces back laser beams, a lidar instrument that precisely measures the spacecraft's altitude and velocity as it descends to the lunar surface. I guess that's maybe more of a navigational thing. A stereo camera that will capture video of the plume of dust produced by Odysseus engines during landing. A low-frequency radio receiver that measures the effects of charged particles on radio signals near the lunar surface. And a beacon, Lunar Node 1, that will demonstrate autonomous navigation systems. This part seemed kind of interesting, right? Autonomous navigation systems. You know, I'm curious to see what AI models will be able to do when they are commanding these basically space robots, right? Because currently the issue is the rate of transmission from Earth to the moon, or in the future to Mars, is just so long that it's not reasonable to remote control it in real time, right? So autonomous navigation systems and AI navigation systems, I think, have a lot of promise in basically commanding what happens there. Well, let me stay on the call here. All right, so let's move on to our next piece here. What you need to know about NASA SpaceX Crew 8 mission, right? So this is a partnership between SpaceX and NASA. This is on the NASA website itself. 4 new crew members are preparing to launch to the International Space Station as part of the NASA Crew 8 mission. The cadre will fly aboard SpaceX Dragon spacecraft named Endeavour, which previously flew NASA's SpaceX Demo Mission 2, Crew 2, and Crew 6, in addition to Axiom Mission 1, the first commercial astronaut mission to the space station. Okay, yada yada yada. Crew 8 will conduct new scientific research to prepare for human exploration beyond low Earth orbit and benefit humanity on Earth. Experiments will include using stem cells to create organoid models to study degenerative diseases, studying the effects of microgravity and UV radiation on plants at a cellular level, and testing whether wearing pressure cuffs on the legs could prevent fluid shifts and reduce health problems in astronauts. These are just a few of more than 200 specific scientific experiments and technology demonstrations taking place during the mission. Cool. So let me see if there's an update here. Are they out there? One cool thing that I was listening to the launch broadcast. That's the word I was looking for. And they actually had something interesting here. There's a new app for tracking the ISS and where it is in the world. If you scan this QR code, I don't know if it's big enough where you can try it, or you can try it from their website, but you can give it a shot with this QR code. You can download the app, and it can tell you where the ISS is at any given moment. I do have an app called Stellaris that gives me the constellations, and sometimes there's been a couple of times that I was like out watching the stars, and then I see a dot moving, a light source moving, and the Stellaris app is smart enough to tell me that was the ISS, which was really cool. So, in any case, so that's the current news. So the Crew 8 mission is literally going on as we speak. So this is exciting. And some breakthroughs here with the FAA investigation of the Starship mission. As we covered here before on the show, there was a big explosion last time Starship went off in Boca Chica, and it did actually, the debris did actually cause some environmental damage. So the FAA had to really research that and talk to SpaceX on how to mitigate that kind of issue in the future. They're saying this doesn't mean the Starship is cleared for liftoff for the number 3 test yet, but I think it bodes really well, to be honest. The test mission, which was launched from SpaceX Starbase site in South Texas on November 18th, ended with a bang. 2 bangs, actually. Both the Starship stages exploded high above Earth around 3.5 minutes and 8 minutes after liftoff, respectively. Ever since, SpaceX has been prepping for Starship Flight number 3 in keeping with the company's fast-paced build, flight, iterate philosophy. But today's news does not constitute clearance to launch, the FAA stressed. This is what the FAA says. Prior to the next launch, SpaceX must implement all corrective actions and receive a license modification from the FAA that addresses all safety, environmental, and other application regulatory requirements, agency officials wrote in an emailed statement today. So, it seems, quite hopeful. I was reading here at the end of the article, they were saying also that, on September 8th of the previous year, there was also an explosion, an investigation, and, they were able, it took until November to do another launch. And they're saying, but you shouldn't expect such a lengthy wait this time around, considering how much progress SpaceX made on flight number 2. That first flight investigation, for example, identified 63 corrective actions for SpaceX to make, compared to 17 after the November launch. So that's really exciting. I can't wait for the next Starship launch. And I know that we're going to need many, many tests until it gets to a point where, humans feel safe to go on that, or even before we feel safe to send significant payloads anywhere, right? So anyways, I'm so glad to be back on the show. Thanks for your patience with me as I've been working on other things and just all around busy with life, but I'm really happy to be back to the show. Excited for all these new missions coming up and that are happening as we speak. Stay safe, live long and prosper, and see you on the flip side.